All right, well, attorneys are approaching to discuss matters with the judge. Let's bring in our guest for this hour. Joining us now from Santa Fe, New Mexico, trial attorney John Day. John, thank you so much for being with us today and watching this trial with us. All right, the special agent is on the stand now, direct examination. What are you taking away, John, from his testimony so far?
So thanks for having me. What we're seeing is a case that's been made almost entirely on a digital trail. We used to call it a paper trail. This is a collection of text messages, Snapchat, cell phone tracking, even the use of steps on a cell phone that are tracked and recorded when you're moving around inside a house. The claim is that the defendant was active the morning of the shooting in a way that was very unusual. It's a case built on a digital trail, and it's also a case built on apparently statements made by the defendant to other people that she intended to shoot her husband in the face or she would shoot her husband in the face. And that's apparently what the state is alleging she did. So it's a tough case for the defense when you have such a solid, apparently, and complete trail of digital evidence. And this witness, the criminalist from the Department of the investigations, the guy who conducted the investigation and the interviews with the defendant, is presenting that case in a very good and effective way.
Yeah, good point, John. We see so much of this these days with the digital trail, so they have definitely built a solid case around this. John, thank you so much. We are going to squeeze in a quick break, but coming up, we're going to hear arguments outside the jury's presence about the special agent's interview with co-defendant Houston Danker. That's when we come back. Stay with us. You're watching Court TV, your front row seat to justice. Okay, the cross-examination is going on now, so let's, while they're getting the video set up, bring in our guest, still with us, trial attorney John Day from Santa Fe, New Mexico. John, thanks again for sticking around with us and watching. Cross is just beginning. Is there anything that you would like to see elicited on the cross-examination from the special agent on the stand?
Well, it's a tough cross for the defense lawyer. What they're going to look for is any kind of inconsistency in the agent's investigation. Of course, their defense is pointing the finger at the man who the defendant was allegedly having an affair with. The defense is that she was basically manipulated by someone who was much stronger, more powerful, and exerted this control over her. So the defense, through this cross, is sort of grasping at the idea that the investigators established their sights on the defendant and did not really investigate or look into the concept of whether she had been manipulated by the man she was allegedly having the affair with.
And what do you make of the information that was even on the direct examination about maybe not being forthcoming about the affair, even though there were rumors in town? How does that impact a trial in general? So someone's not being forthcoming, you get that out during the trial. Talk about that.
Right. Well, the prosecution wants to establish in the minds of the jurors that any of this inconsistency, any deception, any testimony that makes it seem like the defendant was trying to cover up, be dishonest, not being forthcoming, it all goes to undermining her credibility. And of course, in this case, there's just sort of a tidal weight of evidence that the prosecution has put together through the law enforcement investigation, digital evidence, and even statements that apparently were made by the defendant in which she claimed she wanted to shoot her husband in the face. And of course, that's what the prosecution says actually happened. So the prosecution is laying its groundwork. They're trying to undercut her credibility, paint a picture of her in the minds of jurors as someone who can't be believed.
Do you think, John, that we would see a situation where she would end up taking the stand, or would it be just too harmful to her case?
You know, this is not a self-defense case where she would really have to take the stand. It would be hard to imagine a situation where she would actually be testifying. Of course, it does happen, but it's really not something that I would anticipate is going to happen in this type of a case.
Yeah, John, I don't think she should be taking the stand, but of course she has the right to do so if she decides, in consultation with her defense counsel, if that's something she wants to do. But John, thank you so much for your insight as always. We appreciate you joining us this hour. Have a good day. Now, coming up, more testimony in the widow's words murder trial for Karina Cooper.